So we discussed cell referencing. We also discussed different type of cell referencing. Let's let's understand this concept further using a practical example. In this sheet, we have table 1, which is sales in 2018 of a company. We also have a year-on-year growth multiplier, and we have table 2. What we'll do is we will populate table 2 from table 1 and the growth multiplier figure. We give you slightly more insight on how this will work. A growth multiplier for an year would basically mean if you multiply the sale figure from the previous year with a multiplier, we'll get the sales figure for the current year. For instance, if I multiply this number with the growth, we get the sales figure for the next year. Let's do it in this table too. Begin with, we'll first need to populate these green cells. Getting back to how we do referencing, as explained in the previous video, we link it to the corresponding sales figure for the year 2018 and for the corresponding region, which is in this case East. All we need to do is drag it now, and we see that these figures get generated again here. As told before, this is a simple relative referencing. Now we have to generate this number, which is the total sale for 2018, in all of these cells, which means we need to put this value in each of these cells. As you would have noted, by doing in this way, we have to put the formula in each of the cell, which is pretty tiresome and cumbersome. What we can do instead is we just link it to the cell, and since this value has to be repeated across this row, we fix it, and now if we drag it, we get the same value across in this row. Center it for better formatting, and we fold it. So again, this one, the bottom row for total sales 2018 has been generated using a fixed reference. Now coming to the tricky part. How do we generate the sales figure for 2019 for each of the regions? What we do is let's generate the forecast year figures for sale starting from 2019 up till 2023 using this 2018 sales figure for each region and the growth multiplier figure. What we need to do is use the sales figure and multiply it with the corresponding growth multiplier. The growth multiplier is same for all region and all year, which means we need to multiply this growth multiplier with each of these numbers. Let's see what happens if I drag this formula down. There seems to be an issue, right? So let's see what has happened here. As you can see, as we have copied the cell and we move to the rows below, the sales figure linked to 2018 figures is correct, but the growth multiplier has shifted. In this case, 2 rows below. But we don't want that. We want this referencing to remain at cell E2, or in other words, we want this referencing to be fixed. What we do is We select E2 and we press F4, or we add dollars to it. Now if I track the formula, we see that the referencing to the rows keeps on shifting, but the referencing to the year-on-year growth figure remains fixed. Let's see what happens if I copy this formula to the right. What we see here is the referencing to the growth multiplier is fixed, but our columns get shifted from left to right as we paste the formula also from left to right. Let's copy it. Which means if I now copy this entire cell and do a bit of formatting, we get what we want. In this case, we have used combination of relative referencing and fixed referencing. Now let's see what if we wanted to keep the referencing fixed to this column for calculating the forecasting year, which means a growth figure is linked only with the base year. So for this, let's first understand the formula. The basic formula is to use the base year and multiply it with the growth multiplier. Now to arrive at the figure for 2020, we need to multiply this figure with the corresponding growth figure, which in other words is nothing but a base year 2018 figure multiplied by the growth figure, again multiplied with the growth figure. Similarly for 2021, take the base year and multiply with 1.05 three times, or in other words, we take a cube of it. Let's see how it looks if I manually do it three times. Looks the same. So using referencing, let's do it in an easy way. So for that, let's first put some headers over the columns. So this is column number 1, this is column number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's do a bit of formatting. So these columns would help us in creating the quick formula for populating these cells. So the formula, like explained now, would be the base year sales figure multiplied by the growth multiplier, and we fix it so that as we copy the cells across the columns and rows, the referencing remains fixed. And then we use power sign or raised to the power and link it to the corresponding column header. We also want to keep this row or the column header fixed as we copy the cells across columns and rows. Let me explain what I mean. If I copy the cell somewhere down, we see that our referencing is getting failed. We want this cell to be linked here and this one here. So to achieve that, what we do is we first fix this column, which is B, and also we don't want to move this row. We want to fix it. So we fix the row 10. Now if I paste this column or this cell rather, you see that the referencing to growth remains fixed. The referencing to the column headers is fixed with respect to row or is fixed row wise. And the referencing to the sales column, the base here, is fixed column wise. That's an easy way to populate table 2 from table 1 using a combination of referencing techniques.